So right back to me on these videos after 25 years and tell me about your feelings of discontent towards your own country. And if you still have them, then there's something wrong because you're probably not happy where you're living right now. Okay, I'll say that again. If after 25 years of living abroad, after leaving your country for something that was arguably a better deal for you, if you're still not happy and you haven't made peace with your past, with the country that you left behind, and there's something wrong with where you're living. I'm pretty happy here in Greece. I'm pretty happy with where I come from as well. There was a time though that I had to convince myself that I wouldn't be wearing this shirt and feel proud of it. I want to go deeper, not just a surface level, like, oh yeah, a tomato here costs this versus a tomato in Venezuela or England, you know? That's surface level. There's nothing wrong with that. I can share with you prices and all of that, cost of living and blah, 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 blah. But that's all sort of surface level. I'm more interested in lifestyle and passion, purpose, contribution. Not how cheaper life is over here versus living in England or the Netherlands. Who cares? Based on my YouTube analytics, half of my audience is Greek. It got me thinking about why will somebody watch a video of a foreigner living here in Greece, talking about Greece. When I created this YouTube channel, which is 100% focused on my Greek lifestyle, I was overwhelmed by the reaction from Greeks here in Greece, okay, and from Greeks living abroad, and of course foreigners. Because I was not expecting that type of response. When I created my very first video for this YouTube channel and I uploaded it on the 15th of April, my idea of creating a small thing on the internet with this YouTube channel was for foreigners, that they were curious about Greece because I'm a foreigner. And I thought to myself, yeah, there are people doing this already. There's plenty of travel videos of people that have come to Greece. They have, come here as a tourist or just traveling around, and they create a video about Greece, and then they carry on with their travels. But there's only a handful of people that are actually creating content here that live here in Greece. There's only a couple of them. And when I started to create my content, I said to myself, you know what, I've been living here long enough. I believe I have something to say, something to share. And without sounding cocky, I believe I can do a better job of what's been done already on YouTube when it comes to talking about the Greek lifestyle from a foreigner's lens. And I'm still working on that. And even though this YouTube channel is still very, very young, it's all thanks to you that it's becoming the #1 YouTube channel when it comes down to life in Greece or living in Greece as a foreigner. I did not expect that at all. And I did not expect to have a Greek audience living here in Greece. I'm still overwhelmed by gratitude, because to have the backing of Greeks living here in Greece and watching my content is just mind-blowing. Literally, it's just mind-blowing. And obviously, having people that live in Canada, the States, Australia, and all over the world, Greeks that are just spread out all over the world, that they reach out to me and sending me emails, sending me private messages, and talking about my content and how one of my videos has, helped them being closer to their homeland. I feel that it's my duty not only to create the best possible content, but as well to talk and in a way about Greece that it makes Greeks here in Greece feel proud of what they have, which is their country. And I do understand that when you live in a country and you have this idea that somewhere else is better, I completely understand that, because when I was growing up in Venezuela, I had those thoughts as well, that somewhere else is better. And for us that we live in Venezuela, it's very easy to latch on to that idea and to that philosophy that, Venezuela is shit, that Venezuela is not a good country, that the economy is just, not to talk about safety, okay? Right? So there's so many negatives that we can find the strength in order for us to say, yeah, this is a bad country, and if you look very closely, you can certainly find many negatives in order for you to emphasize those things. I certainly did that back in the day when I left Venezuela, and it was a necessary part of travel. It was a necessary part of just moving from one country to another for many, many reasons, right? In order to pack your bags and leave your country and go somewhere else, you have to do it with this notion that somewhere else is better than where you are. So when I get Greeks saying that, Greece is shit, that the country is like, I can't believe that you actually live here, what are you doing here? I get it, because, I get that where they're coming from. And I've been there. The same goes with Greeks that live abroad. When Greeks living abroad say to me that I left my country and you live here in Greece because you're wealthy and because for you it's easy or whatever, then I get that as well, because it's a necessary talk that people need to have with themselves in order to convince themselves of their situation. Because I did that as well. I've done it. Especially if you live abroad, you need to convince yourself that Greece is bad, because it is a tough sell that you have to do with yourself. It's a tough sell that you have to sell that idea to yourself, not only before you leave, but while you're in the process of creating that life abroad. And even if you've been 7 years away, it's still early days, man. I mean, come back to me after 20 years. Maybe longer, because that's how long I've been away from Venezuela, by the way, more than 20 years. So write back to me on these videos after 25 years and tell me about your feelings of discontent towards your own country. And if you still have them, then there's something wrong, because you're probably not happy where you're living right now. Okay, I'll say that again. If after 25 years of living abroad, after leaving your country for something that was arguably a better deal for you, if you're still not happy and you haven't made peace with your past, with the country that you left behind, then there's something wrong with where you're living. And I know that to be true. I have family members actually that are going through that process. I can see it, I understand it. I might do a video about that actually. But in my experience, in my own life, and what I have lived so far, I'm pretty happy here in Greece. I'm pretty happy with where I come from as well. There was a time though that I had to convince myself that I wouldn't be wearing this shirt and feel proud of it. This is a beaten up shirt, bought in Venezuela, by the way. I think my aunt or my mom bought it, okay? And they sent it to me when I was living in England. It's beaten up. It's supposed to be black, but it's gray. My wife says I should get rid of it, that I should just throw it away. And I don't. I refuse to throw it away, because it's the last thing I have that says Venezuela on a shirt. And maybe I could buy one. Of course I could buy one. But this is the one that somebody bought for me. And it has some sentimental value. But there was a time when I had to have this internal dialogue with myself about my own country in a very negative way, because I had to convince myself that my decision of leaving Venezuela was the right decision. And it was a necessary thing. And I had to focus on the negative. So I understand people when they say to me that, that Greece is this or that, and that there's no way somebody could be happy here. I understand that. Right? I completely understand that. And, if you're a foreigner watching this video, because this applies to you whether you're Greek or not, by the way. You could be a foreigner from X country moving to another country, right? And maybe you're just going from one frying pan to another. But it's just a matter of what you actually want and your perception of, again, your reality. Because wherever you go, you're going to find kind of like the same things, right? We all need to eat. We all need to, have human interaction with one another. We all want to be happy. We all want to settle down. We all want to be able to enjoy life at a very basic level. Like how we're going to earn a living is a big part of that as well, right? That's why people move from one country to another. I need to escape this country in order to find employment somewhere else, The funny thing, and this is something that you might not know about me. So check this out. There's a person that actually shared one of my videos on a Facebook group. And I was humbled that actually somebody on a Facebook group about Greece, he was just picking one of my videos and then sharing it there with others to see, right? All the comments are positive, apart from one. Somebody said like, oh, it's easy for him because his wife is Greek and he's wealthy. Just like that. And it got me thinking again, like, wow, the perception of people, how hurt they are and how much baggage somebody can have in order to internalize that. Because one thing is to internalize it, like actually think about it and say like, yeah, that guy is a prick or that guy is married to a Greek. That's why it's easy for him. And he's wealthy, right? Let's not forget about the wealth part and the money part there. That's one thing, okay, if you think about it. But to take it a step further and actually write about it, that takes us to another level of pain and suffering. And I feel for these people. I truly feel. I'm not going to engage because I don't have to prove anything to anybody, but I truly feel the pain because I don't know what they're going through. The same way that you might not know what I'm going through, but by doing this type of videos, maybe you can get a little bit of a taste of what I'm going through in this moment as I'm recording this, or what I went through in order to get here, and most importantly, where I'm going as well. Because I haven't arrived. I mean, even though I'm here in my desirable location, like I'm here in Greece, and I'm still working on my lifestyle, which is the whole purpose of this channel. It's all about my lifestyle. I still haven't arrived. I'm still searching for something else, for a better quality of life, right? And it's not about being greedy. It's about expansion. It's about growth. It's about contribution. It's about what else can I do, okay? So I understand the pain that people go through when they see certain type of content and they make conclusions, they make assumptions, and they need to tell themselves a story in order to convince themselves that that's the reality. I left Venezuela before things got very, very bad, and I had no reasons to leave Venezuela, by the way. I had a good life in Venezuela. A lot of people assume this as well of me. They assume that, oh, it's an easy thing for me because, of course, Greece is better than Venezuela. That's based on your own judgment and what you have lived. That's based on what you see through your lens. There is nothing that I could not live here in Greece and not lived in Venezuela, because there are many similarities when it comes to the culture and people, the warmth I'm talking about here. Yeah, the weather. In fact, the weather is better in Venezuela because Venezuela is a tropical country, so I will say that. And I'm not comparing Venezuela with Greece, but the weather, 100%. Venezuela has one of the best weathers in the world because it's always summer, but it doesn't get so hot that you can't go outside, okay? The food, the people, women are beautiful, but I'm married, so I'm off the market for many, many years now. But, there's so many things that you can actually emphasize and say, you know what, I could easily live in Venezuela, My mother, for example, she has been living in the States for more than 25 years. She's an American citizen. She's Venezuela American. And it's hard to believe that I can label her like that because, to me, my mom is Venezuelan. And she had quite recently a few Venezuelan friends going to visit her in the States. And she said to me, like, oh, yeah, my friend, she lives in Venezuela. She lives in Margarita, in an island. It's a big island in Venezuela. And, she has her family, and with all the difficulties, they still get together. They still enjoy a good, Christmas or Easter or whatever. And, there's struggle, but she lives a good life. And the way she was describing this was like she's so happy for her because one of her best friends. But as well, it's hard for Venezuelans to make sense of that. Like, how is it possible, right? And I told my mom, like, Mom, you should, there's nothing stopping you going back to Venezuela, even after all these years, and go and retire there. Who cares, But that's such a personal call. That's such a personal decision. But I'm always fascinated about this topic because I am a foreigner. Yeah, I've been adapted to this Greek lifestyle pretty well but that's because I want to. It's something that is part of who I am. And this channel is an extension of that, by the way. It's a natural progression because I've been sharing content about Greece since I moved here. But I have never shared it 100% focused on my Greek lifestyle. Never. So I've only decided to do this a few months ago in April. So we're in July as I'm recording this. It's nothing, man. But after 14 years, I finally had like the courage or this idea, like, well, I'm a content creator. I talk about Greece all the time in my content. People are always asking, like, oh, where are you again? What? You're over there, like, what are you doing? And I said, you know what? I'm just going to create content about my Greek lifestyle. And that's going to be the focus of it. And then everything else is going to go under that umbrella. The fact that I like to create music, that I like to create videos, and that I like to go to the sea and swim, that's part of my Greek lifestyle. And this is what I do. In essence, that's what Daniel is all about. So this is something that I'm very passionate about, and I want to share that with you. And yeah, if you're Greek, and like I mentioned to you, if you're watching this from here, from Greece, which based on my analytics, that's you, that's my audience, and as well Greeks living abroad. And then the third ones are the foreigners that have no connection with Greece, but they want to come to Greece, or they love Greece, or they've been to Greece for holidays, or they want to come to Greece for holidays, which was my main target audience in a way, I guess, right? I just want to really salute you and thank you so much for watching my content. It really means a lot to me. It has literally changed my life just creating these videos about Greece. And I'm a content creator for many years. And I can tell you right now that this YouTube channel has been a game changer in my life. It gives me so much joy to create these videos. I take it very seriously. And like I was mentioning in the beginning of this video, in the beginning I saw what others were doing and what others were talking about Greece and living here in Greece. And I said to myself, you know what, I have the full credentials actually. I can crush this without sounding cocky, but a lot of things that I want to share with you that go beyond the surface of living in a foreign country. And in this case, Greece, because I live in Greece. When I started to create videos here, I was obviously trying to experiment to see what is going to work and how can I find my voice with these videos. And I want to go deeper, not just a surface level, like, oh yeah, a tomato here costs this versus a tomato in Venezuela or England, That's surface level. There's nothing wrong with that. I can share with you prices and all of that, cost of living and blah, 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 blah. But that's all surface level. I'm more interested in lifestyle and passion, purpose, contribution, not how cheaper life is over here versus living in England or the Netherlands. Who cares? If you live in England and you have a good salary, you're still going to spend more money on food and rent and utilities. So I don't want to do that anymore. I've done a few videos about that. I will probably elaborate more with clients that actually want to talk about that and they want to ask me certain things and they're more serious about certain aspects of life here in Greece. But there's other people doing this already, the living cost of one country to another, it varies quite a lot, and it all depends on your income as well. So, I'm not going to touch too much on that. I'm more focused from this point on a way of life and more purpose-driven. And if I'm going to move back to Venezuela, it is certainly not because of the economical situation over there. It's not. It will be because there's a deeper meaning for that. And yes, I will have to figure out how I'm going to earn a living, but I have already done that because I work online. So I will just have to fine-tune all of the details of like, can I earn money while living in Venezuela and still get to my bank account in Venezuela? Like little details like that. And I'm not saying that that's exactly what I'm going to do, but I'm just saying in a parallel universe, if I was going to do that, this will be my thought process and where my mind is at. Not how expensive is the electricity in Venezuela or how shit is the wages over there, because I am not going to go to Venezuela and look for work. I'm thinking about how can I go to Venezuela and actually create work? How can I create something? How can I contribute to the society? And how can I do that? It might sound like I have this complex of the Savior or some Jesus Christ Messiah's complex, but I'm almost 50, man. I'm trying to think way beyond my own personal needs, like paying my bills, right? Is it possible that I can create something in order to help the community? And that applies to this place where I live right now, which are bigger dreams that I have. Like, can I do videos about it? But at the same time, what can I do here in the community in order to, even create jobs somehow? I don't know. Should I open a shop here in Naflio? Should I create some type of work opportunity for others? I'm trying to think outside of the box and try to think in a different way and see how can I do something bigger than what I am already doing. And how can that help and contribute to the greater good? Anyways, guys, thank you so much for all the love and support. I really appreciate you. Again, thank you from the bottom of my heart for watching these videos. It really means the world to me. Don't forget to drop a comment where you're watching these videos. Sasagapao para poli, and I'll see you in another video, my friend.